As expected, tensions were high in Washington, D.C.
Everything's good, buddy. Everything's good. Come on, let's go. Where you
where anti-BLM mural activist Bevelyn Beatty was stabbed along with multiple Proud Boys, including Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio, resulting in hospitalization due to serious injuries.
Yeah, girl, he tried to stab you.
Ambulance. They stabbed me. They stabbed me. Bleeding really badly.
Oh, they stabbed Bevelyn Beatty right now.
Election day had been plentiful with incidents of violence and voter fraud.
Be asked to stop filming.
Okay.
To stop filming.
Okay.
Walk away or it gets worse. Walk away or it gets worse. I'm good. Walk away or it gets worse.
They called the sheriffs and said that, and told us to stop handing out the ballpoint pens, in which case those are the only ones that are actually being counted and validated.
I used your pen and then I sent it back to you and I said, give this to somebody.
Yes. And so we know that, and we've been telling them you need to use a ballpoint pen, not the Sharpie, and now those are getting invalidated.
Yeah.
So people are coming here to vote for Donald Trump, and those votes are all getting invalidated. That's what's going on.
Voter machines were down in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and an unidentified man was filmed taking an official ballot box away from a polling place in Philadelphia. And as the votes were tallied, Biden's states were easily called, while Trump's hung in the balance for hours. And as a victory looked obvious for Trump, rather than count the votes, Democrat turf in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Minnesota called it a night, while Arizona controversially flipped to Biden, warranting reactions from both parties.
Keep the faith, guys. We're going to win this. Thank you. Your patience is great. Let's walk over here.
So if you look and you see Arizona, we have a lot of life in that. And somebody declared that it was a victory for, and maybe it will be. I mean, that's possible. But certainly there were a lot of votes out there that we could get because we're now just coming into what they call Trump territory. I don't know what you call it, but these were friendly Trump voters. And that could be overturned. The gentleman that called it, I watched tonight, he said, well, we think it's fairly unlikely that he could catch. Well, fairly unlikely.
And the Mockingbird media immediately reacted, spinning webs of propaganda against Trump's legitimate concerns.
If somehow they manage to stumble into the Supreme Court, do any of you guys trust Uncle Clarence and Amy Coney Barrett and those guys to actually follow the letter of the law? No. I mean, it is a completely politicized Supreme Court that you can't just trust that they're going to do the right thing.
This is a mostly meaningless event tonight that is as dark as everyone has said it is. It is as disgraceful as everyone has said it is. But like so much of Trump, it is mostly meaningless.
I think one thing that's underappreciated about what the president is doing here is that the president would not have to do that if he thought he was going to win the election. The only reason you come out and say, I'm winning Georgia, I won North Carolina, I won Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, all these places, is because you haven't. And you have to assert it because it's not otherwise true.
And as America slept, hundreds of thousands of votes were dumped in Biden's favor. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the count was delayed until 3:30 a.m. and President Trump had a healthy lead, suddenly Biden had a 4.1 lead that suddenly appeared on a zip drive.
Accuracy and transparency.
And in Michigan, over 100,000 votes went to Biden, while 0 went to any other presidential contender, including Donald Trump. Statistical impossibilities stinking of fraud. They would all have you believe that the fishing for ballot scam is just business as usual. But even the closest election in modern history between JFK and Nixon in 1960 was called by 7 a.m. the next morning. And even that race was marred by fraud. But nowhere near the presidential election of 2020. John Bowne reporting.